guys, your boy Benny. Breaking news right this second that is rocking the world. Democrats have gotten their jolly rocks off over the last week, calling Donald Trump a convicted felon over the guilty conviction that happened 7 days ago in New York. But was it really a guilty conviction? Holy cannoli guacamole. Check this out. In a letter to both sides of the case, Judge Juan Merchan, right here, verified, the Court of Claims, says that there has been a massive problem. A huge breach of the jury ethics may have occurred, and it may be grounds for throwing out the entire trial altogether. Check this out. Dear counsel, today the court is aware of a comment that was posted on a United States Court System's public Facebook page, which I am now bringing to your attention. The comment, the user Michael Anderson states, "My cousin is a juror and says Trump is getting convicted. Thank you, folks, for all your hard work." The comment, now labeled as 1 week old, responded to the notice of the oral arguments. This comment was made before the guilty conviction and can be viewable here. Juan Merchan sends letter saying effectively, if this proves out, that the jury was leaking the verdict to their families and friends before the verdict happened. This, of course, would be grounds for a mistrial and for Donald Trump to be set free and for there to be a complete and total overturning of this conviction. Wow. Check this out.
Folks, major breaking news on the Trump verdict out of the rotten apple. A New York Supreme Court has just notified, or the New York Supreme Court has just notified Judge Juan Merchan that someone identifying themselves as the cousin of one of the jurors posted to the court's Facebook page that Trump was going to be found guilty. This happened 1 day before the verdict was announced. We're working to verify all this information and what it means about Trump's case.
Holy moly. Okay, to say that this is a bombshell that has cracked the core of the internet would be to be putting it lightly. Juan Merchan notifies parties in the New York case, Facebook comment, boasting of the conviction of Trump before the verdict. Even libs are saying, oh no, Kyle Cheney over here, saying this is pretty bad. Apparently, doing this would be a violation of an enormous amount of grounds of conduct. This could substantiate juror misconduct and be grounds for a mistrial to throw out the entire trial and its results altogether against Trump. This is breaking news rip-roaring across the internet. Judge in the Trump trial case notifies parties of online comment claiming juror foreknowledge of conviction. The prosecutors flagged another juror link to past corruption investigation. Juan Merchan has reprimanded the press for revealing too much information to the jurors. The integrity of the trial is now in question. Is it time for a mistrial with prejudice? Wow. This is incredible. Trump mistrial now is what is trending across the internet. Dan Bongino saying this farce of a trial, it just got even more Soviet. Show me the man, I'll show you the crime. Phil Holloway, legal expert, who's following very closely the case in Georgia. Looks like there was juror misconduct in the Trump trial. We knew that these jurors would not be able to avoid telling their friends and relatives that they were going to go get Trump. This is time for a mistrial with prejudice and no retrial. Wow. Apparently, this comment was Russian disinformation. Okay. The judge has notified all parties. The New York law, the verdict needs to be nullified and a new trial held, or a mistrial with no new trial. Take your felony conviction and shove it. New York Judge Juan Merchan has put both parties on notice. My cousin is a juror, and he said Trump is being convicted. This is big trouble, says Greta Van Susteren, as she holds up the note from both sides from the judge. Wow. So a person claiming to be the cousin of a juror, you'd have to assume, the way that this could all fall to pieces would be if this person wasn't a cousin of a juror, or if this was just a troll, you'd have to actually, you need to search, but it really wouldn't be hard. And you'd have to assume that the judge has already done that search, right? A lot of randos, a lot of sock accounts, right? And a lot of anons on the internet. You'd have to assume that they could you just do a click, click, click and see that they're related. right? They know all these people's social media. They ask them about their social media when they're doing jury investigations and interviews. Facebook page getting convicted. If this is confirmed, it would likely be a mistrial. This is a Friday news dump to remember. Mistrial, says Mike Davis, obviously one of our favorite attorneys. So this would be the juror's handbook serving in the United States District Court. The juror's handbook effectively points to what should happen in a situation like this. Jurors may not talk about the case with others not on the jury, even their spouses. Families must not read about the case in newspapers. They should avoid radio, television broadcasts that would mention the case. The jury's verdict must be based on nothing but the evidence presented in the court, and they may not talk to others or tell them what is going on. It's also like betting markets on things like this, and this is like considered inside information. I mean, there's so many reasons to not do this, but obviously upholding the integrity of the court system would be chiefly among them. Mistrial, says Cat Turd, the jury was rigged, and then they got busted. The convicted felon about to get unconvicted. Whew, baby. Judge Juan Merchan has sent a letter to both parties in the New York case telling them about a comment made on Facebook. The comment saying effectively that the jurors were leaking again. We're leaking the results of the trial ahead of the actual conviction. Now, mistrial is trending throughout the United States of America. So mistrial is now the number 7, soon to be number 1 thing trending throughout the country. Whoo, baby. So, I mean, take a step back. Could this be a good thing or a really bad thing? Well, it could be a good thing because it would mean, were this to be an actual mistrial, and if the judge is sending a letter to both parties on this, then presumably they've already done their homework on this. If the judge is sending a letter, then it means they've already effectively thought through this and said, this is legitimate. You'd have to assume, right? Now, how could this be a good thing? If the judge says, all right, we're not going to retry this thing. I am a biased judge. I've donated to Democrats. My daughter works for Democrats, and we're inside of New York, which is going to be a jury pool that's already going to be rigged against you. So we're not going to retry this thing. We're just going to be done. We're going to wash our hands of this. Or 2, the judge says, yeah, this is a mistrial. We're going to retry the whole thing. So we already know our playbook. We already have our playbook. We're going to bring Donald Trump back to New York, back to these dingy, fluorescently lit courthouses for another 5 weeks. We're going to keep him off the campaign trail. We're going to retry this thing. We're going to try it right now. Well, I can't imagine something worse than that, actually. You'd almost want to take the guilty conviction, then the guilty conviction 7 weeks from now, gobbling up more, like Pac-Man, gobbling up more of the precious time that Donald Trump has to actually campaign. Donald Trump campaign doing a great job and winning right now. But nonetheless, a moment where this could actually backfire. So were this to be something that that like actually got Donald Trump out of this conviction and out of this courthouse, I'd be 100% in favor of it. Go, 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 go. Todd Blanche is his lawyer. He's a really smart guy. Presumably he knows what he's doing. If this is a trick to steal more of Trump's precious campaigning time and energy to redo this trial, then obviously that's a worst thing you could possibly have. So we'll see what happens. Wow. Quite a bit of breaking news here on a Friday, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. We'll see. We'll see. Like, share, and subscribe for more updates. It's your boy Benny. See ya. Free my boy Trump.